What's going on, guys? This is KNasty3090 here. Welcome back to the episode of Baltimore Orioles Franchise Rebuild, episode number 6. We're going in the off-season of year 3 to year 4. We had a setback this past year, so we got some work to do in the off-season. We only won 64 games. We went 70 wins and 78, and I thought maybe we can get 85 to 88 was my goal. We won 64. I was way off. We did trade off some pieces. We built up the farm system. We have a really good farm system. Jay Groom's at 7. We also got other guys here. Velasquez is at 17. De La Rosa's at 23. I mean, we can go on and on. Ray Moon, a catcher's at 34. And we also have young guys on the big league club. Espinosa's at 39. Grayson Rodriguez, a pitcher's at 45. So we're in a good spot. It's just we got to be smart about what we do. Now we have a bunch of contracts with the manager, pitching coach, and farm director have all ended. Let's see who retired. Just a guy named Jordan Kipper. No Hall of Famers. Exclusive free agents is just Segrist, who I'm probably going to let walk. We can find another lefty. I mean, like I said, we'll get these coaches taken care of in a little bit. Let's get into the offseason, and let's take a look at arbitration. Now, Gabriel Yona has been a solid piece for us. I mean, basically, book him for an ERA of 4 to 4.15 every year, a whip of 1.35 to 1.4 roughly. I mean, he's nothing crazy, nothing bad. I mean, his WAR last year has actually been 3.2. Those are pretty solid. If we can get him a 4-year deal for $800,000 a year, that's really good. It's going to be closer to 9. There we go. But that's still really good. Rich Blyer struggled this past year, but he's normally pretty good. So maybe we can get him pretty cheap. 1.8 for 2 years. Now, he is 33. It's going to probably be like, there we go. We'll just go 2 years, 1.9 a year. Ronald Guzman at first. Did struggle this year. I mean, he hit 37 home runs with Texas with a 268 average and a slugging of 551. And this past year, his slugging percentage was 371. 2.3 for 2 years. For 3 years isn't too bad. It'll probably be closer to 2.5. There we go. Joe Ross pitched okay, a 4.12. I mean, we have a lot of guys who just pitched okay. But I think we should sign him. We may trade him, but want him at least. And then Sam, he did kind of struggle. We'll probably let him go. We'll go other directions with the bullpen. Really, Adames as our shortstop did pretty darn well. All in all, 281 average, 442 slugging. Not too bad for a shortstop. A WAR 1.8. I would love to give him a long-term deal. Like 5 years actually becomes 8.7 a year. It's a little pricey. I can do one more year at 1.6. I might just do that. Go cheap and then spend a little bit of that money in free agency maybe. Buddy Deluski, a 258 average. His potential's going down, but his overall still going up. Let's do 3 years. Oops. Let's do 3 years. I think the money that we're gonna offer him, basically a 3-year, $3 million deal is fine. Damian Overton, a closer we got in the trade deadline, pitched really well at the bullpen once we got him. So let's sign him. The rest of these guys, I'm just going to sign. I'll just skip it for you guys, and then we'll move forward with the offseason. All right, so the offers were made. Let's take a look at the roster before we look at free agency, see what we can maybe address, and then we'll go from there. So, pitching. I think we need to get a true ace. I like some of these players. I think Bundy is obviously good. Not great. Skaggs had a down year, but he normally is pretty solid. Yona, kind of same with Ross. Medina, only a C potential, but not a bad player there. Jay Groom's a top prospect. Trujillo is a big-time prospect. Good walks per 9. I mean, I'm okay with trading these kids, even though they're 22, 23 with A potential, if we get a stud back. I mean, we have a lot of depth in the system for pitching. Relievers, I think we want to overhaul the bullpen. Catcher, we have Saucedo, who's good. We also have some youngsters that I like. This dude right here, Iovino. Take a look at that hitter. Other than power, pretty good. Now, his durability is not great, so I think he is a backup catcher. And we got him in a trade from Kansas City. He's pretty good. Stefanelli can hit versus lefties for a good pop, so he's not a bad option. Then we got Ray Moon's a big-time prospect, working his way up to the system. And then another youngster, Arias, here. At first base, and we had Guzman as our DH. I might rock with Juan Kelly at DH. As you can take a look, he has legit power. He's only a C potential, but same now with Guzman. Now, Guzman, I think, is a better player, but if we can get, if he is highly sought after. I'm okay with trading him, knowing that we have Kelly, who could be a DH, or we can find someone else. They're both the same age at 26. Scope at second is fine. Third base, we got Vlad. We still have Estella. De La Rosa is one of our first-round picks, continuing to progress. Still waiting for that bat to develop. Probably a year or two away. He's already 23, though. But, I mean, maybe we trade him, too. I'm okay with trading him. Adames, we're fine there. We can trade these guys. By the way, one of you guys was telling me McLean's a left-hander who plays shortstop and third base and second base, which makes no sense. Shout out to you for that. Very clever. Mancini, I'm okay with maybe moving Mancini if the deal is right. Deluski's, we're not moving him. We probably need a true center fielder. We do have Swaggerty, but I want like a legit center fielder. We might need we need a lot. So let's take a look at free agency. Mike Trout is available. Mike Trout's available. He hit 51 home runs. Let's see what happens. Mookie's also available, but Mike Trout's better. Let's just see what happens. I'm not mad he stayed with the Angels. DeGrom's a Giant. Keelan Keela's a Tiger. All right, let's go back to free agency then. Doolittle could definitely help us out. Or let's do 2 with a player. Give him a little bit more money. There we go. Jake Arrieta, I think, could be a nice addition. Ken Giles. What are some other relievers out here? Tanaka's a starter, and we have enough of those kind of guys. McCutcheon in center would not be a bad option on a 1-year deal. 11's a little pricey, but let's see. And, or Jackie Bradley might be he's 8. Let's do 8 for Jackie, and let's withdraw that offer on McCutcheon. And, Carson Smith, not a good option. Thornburg, not really that good. Seagrass, we obviously who had a bad year. So let's see with these offers out what happens. Doolittle's an RS. We got Doolittle. He can be our closer. Stroman's a Mariner. Mookie Betts is a Met. All right, we reached our maximum roster size. Let's just get rid of some dead weight in the minors. All right, that should be good. Did we get what's his face? I don't think we did. Nope, Arrieta. We did not get him. Did we get Jackie? Jackie Bradley? We did. So we got Jackie Bradley to play center. Elite defense, which should help us out. I mean, we could go with Deluski and Mancini, but I kind of want to get a better right fielder. Let's go do the trade market now. Let's look at some right fielders out there. Will Myers? Not terrible. 7.9 million is 2 years left. He's 30. He has a good amount of value, but I mean, he's a good player. He hit 31. He's hit 30 home runs through the last 4 years. A 280 average last year, which was a career high. 378 on base. His WAR was 3.7. Nothing crazy. Now they want a catcher and a shortstop. We have shortstops. Paredes can be like the centerpiece. Peter Newcomb, great fielder, can't hit. I don't love him. Joe Ross, he hasn't signed. Yona hasn't signed. I'm not trading like a big-time prospect. They actually value him quite high. I'm not trading Ray Moon for him. They don't even like him. Okay, I don't think we can... Not sure we can get him unless we include... No, they don't even like Mancini. They don't really like what we have to offer. So, let's keep looking. Gregory Polanco, a very solid player. They want third base and left. I'm not going to... I'll include Joe Rizzo. They don't love Joe Rizzo. We have a lot of starter pitching depth. Espinosa moves a little bit. How about if we include Skaggs? That saves us some money. All that almost works. I'm not including... Man. You know what? Let's do this. Let's take these guys out and see what would it take for them to trade Polanco. Jay Groom and Peter Newcomb. And not for a rental. Domingo Santana he was great for our A's franchise. He actually would be a very good option at DH. He hasn't signed his contract yet. Jason Hayward, he's a little pricey. Elite defense. Shouldn't 8-9 isn't as high as I thought it would. I mean, we all have elite defense in the outfield. Depending on what he cost us in terms of players. What do they want for prospects? No trades found. What if I include some depth in our system for starters? And I'll include Skaggs. He had a really down year and he was going down. And Joe Rizzo. Okay, I'm okay with giving up Rizzo since we have De La Russa and Vlad. So we get Jason Hayward. He's our right fielder. Now we have a pretty darn good defensive outfield with Deluski in left. So I think Mancini is now expendable, or he can be our DH. I think he'll be our DH. That makes Guzman expendable. He hasn't signed his contract yet. We still need to get pitching. We actually traded a pitcher, but we're going to work on that in a minute. Let's go back into free agency. Can't afford the contract, probably because we took Hayward. Ken Giles is a Ranger. Paxton, all right, he's signed. So now, let's see if our players signed their contracts. Okay, all the guys except for him signed. So, let's go get some starters. And some bullpen options. Let's start with the bullpen. I think that'll be easier. Try to get some cheap options in there. Liberatore is a left-hand option. He did struggle last year, but he's not going to cost a lot in terms of value. Mountcastle gets the deal done. Perfect. There's a reliever. I don't want to spend a lot of... I can, I just don't want to. Right now, there's... Sir Anthony Dominguez, he's been terrible in his career, though, so I'm good on that. Daniel Norris, Derek Law, he's okay, but he's cheap. They want right field. We have Peter Newcomb. That is a very good building block. And then we can include, like, Austin Hayes, and then just another guy. Probably not a deep potential. There we go, DJ Stewart. And, all right, so now our bullpen's looking a little better. Derek Law, Liberatore, Richard Blear, Jordan Hicks, Sean Doolittle, Overton. I think that's fine. Now let's go work on that rotation. Ooh, get Ohtani? He didn't pitch great, though. Michael Florin was last year of his deal. What prospects would it take? No trades were found. All right, then. I guess they don't like our prospects. Aaron Sanchez, how do you do? Nah, okay. Ty Blatch. He pitched really well. He should be pretty easy to get. I would be okay with moving on from Joe Ross. And we just have to add another piece, like, where was he? We have a guy who's older. Here we go. And that almost gets the deal done. There we go. We get a lefty and Blatch. So we have Bundy, Blatch. I'm okay with moving. Yona's only making $100,000. Patrick Corbin's a very team-friendly deal, but he hasn't pitched that well. Alex Reyes has terrible walks per 9, which is always worrisome. Freddie Peralta has a very friendly contract. Brandon Woodruff pitched well. What would it take to get Woodruff from Medina? Matt McClain. I'm okay with doing that. We get Brandon Woodruff. That helps. And he's under a very team-friendly contract for the next... Look at that contract. $1.7 million for 2 more years after this. So now our rotation's Bundy, Woodruff, Blatch. I guess Yona, Groom, Trujillo. I think Yona out of the bullpen would be fine, and then these 2 guys would be 4 or 5. They're young, but let's give them a chance to play. I think we're set now. I mean, might as well move on from Guzman. because we have what's his value versus Mancini's? Mancini's slightly more. I kind of want to see if we can get. Ooh, what was that? A potential second baseman. Good contact. We can come back to that because we don't really have second baseman, but other than Scope, so he might be a pretty darn good option in the future. And we move on from Mancini, and then we would just go with Guzman instead as our DH. This is just for DH. Actually, take that back. Smith would be our DH. Guzman would play in the field because he has better fielding. Let's do that. We get a big-time prospect at second base. Let's see what Rodriguez's potential is. Actually, I think that's the guy we were looking at before. 93. And he's only, 20? Yeah, I think we were looking at him before on the top prospect like an episode or two ago. So, now we have to do coaches. We need a manager. Let's take care of that. Pitching and a farm director. Here's our farm director. I don't want -3 control. That's pretty bad. -2 velo. I don't love that. -1K per 9. I'm okay with that. All right, so Kevin Gausman got a 4-year, $50 million deal. He's in the National League with the Diamondbacks. There's our trade for Derek Law. We don't have to worry about 40-man. Marlins interested in a trade. Cisneros is a pretty good prospect. He's a B, I believe. No, he's an A. Andrew Waters, who's a C, for Starlin Castro. I mean, he's not better than Scope. I mean, maybe it's arguable. They're close, but there's no point giving up prospects for that. Andrew McCutcheon's a Rocky. Paredes, which I'm okay with moving. We really don't need him. And Garrett McGowan, who I don't know too much. He's a project. For Jackson Stevens, no. But I was just thinking, let's go get one more. I'm just looking at our rotation. I kind of want one more reliever. See if we can get one more bigger name reliever. Brad Hand is a very friendly contract. And just include like Paredes in that. That almost gets the deal done right there. And then, there we go. Boom. We got Brad Hand. Just trade from position to strength. Quintana's a Brewer. So we have the number 2 pick in the next year's draft, by the way. We don't need anything. We'll just skip it. And yeah, I'm pretty excited about this team. I kind of like where we're heading in a direction. We got all the coaches. Curry Mella, a starter for Swaggerty. Who's a B potential? I do know that. Did I miss him? He's a B potential. He's already 27, though. How about Hunter Green instead? I'm just kidding. They're not going to trade Hunter Green. All right. Arrieta never signed, which we couldn't afford him. And our budget's still pretty solid. We can add money. But we actually should be an elite. Maybe not elite, but I think a good defensive team. Let's build that lineup. We don't have a backup for... Oh, our backup first baseman, Tom Smith, so that's fine. I actually don't hate the lineup, how it's... I probably don't want Deluski leading off. But who would lead off instead? I'm going to give him a chance to lead off. Actually, I don't mind this. It's kind of lefty-heavy. But that's not a weakness. It's not a strength, but it's not really a weakness. The lowest is an 80 and the highest is an 87. Just want to make sure something. Do we have Trujillo over? Okay, I think we're going to have to make some changes. Rollison on the bigs? No. Clay Holmes on the bigs? No. So, this guy, Bram, actually I want him for speed. Holmes, send him to AAA. Rollison, send him to AAA. Overton, let's call him up. And Jay Groom, let's call him up. Trujillo, I probably will call him up too in a second. Actually I might. We're actually going to probably send down Overton. Let him stay in the minors one more year. Let's call up Trujillo. There we go. It's young. A pretty good bullpen now. I like the bullpen. 4 lefties in it. Kind of like 2 righties. Rodriguez and where's Cisneros? Oh, actually, let's put Rollison in there. That's fine. Velasquez, obviously want him in the rotation. Belanger, want him to be the closer. Feltman's another option. Damn, we have a lot of pitchers in AA. We have to add some scouts. East, Central, West. We need an international. There's not a good one, but we need one. Can we improve the Central scout? We can. Can't improve the West. All right, so let's take a look at top prospects. Jay Groom's at 9, but he's now in the bigs. What else do we have? Velasquez is in AA. We'll let him just continue to do well there. De La Rosa in AA as well. Going to make sure those guys in the lineup in a second. Ray Moon's in AA as well. Let him do well there. Anderson Espinosa in AAA. And Grayson Rodriguez is in AAA as well. Not too bad. Take a look at standings. Yankees are first. Red Sox are 8th. Rays are 9th. Blue Jays are 22nd. We're 15th. 3rd in defense. Very rare in these franchises to make a good defensive team. But we did. So, let's make sure I want Rodriguez to be playing every day. That's for sure. Definitely want him playing. Oh my god. Is that... Okay, AA needs to add some hitters. Let's fix that. We have too many pitchers. Alright, I'll let them just do that themselves, the CPU. Alright, I think that will end the video, boys. We'll see how we do next season. We're going to have the number 2 pick in the draft, so we better hit that. That'll be in the next episode, boys. Hopefully we can do well. I think we should be halfway decent, I think. I like the bullpen. I think the bullpen could be a strength of ours. Just depends how the starters do. I think that's where this team's going to either be good or bad, if just what the starters do. So we'll find out in the next episode, boys. I'll see you then. Talk to you later. Take it easy. Peace.